Stackness, and today I'm going to be giving my final presentation on Argentina. So, to start off with, my initial interest in Argentina came from growing up. I was constantly listening to my grandfather's stories, him recounting his travels going to South America constantly back and forth, and he always said his favorite place to visit was Argentina. So I've always been interested in Argentina, and this case study gave me the perfect chance. So, just some general information on Argentina. It is located in southeastern South America, to the south of Uruguay and to the east of Chile. And it occupies most of the southeastern coast. Its capital is Buenos Aires, and there is a population of about just over 45 million people, with one third of the population being in the capital. The racial breakdown of Argentina's population is 97% European and mestizo, with a heavy majority of the Europeans there being originally from Spain and Italy. 2.4% indigenous and 0.4% African. Uh, 92% of the country is Roman Catholic. 2% are Protestant, and another 2% are Jewish. The country has a 92.1% urban population, which is significantly higher than the world average, and their literacy rate is 99%, which is extremely high for a developing country. So, one key aspect of Argentina that I noticed in my studies was the racism that has plagued the nation. They've had a long history of discrimination with, in the 1800s, they had many thousands of cases of genocide against indigenous Argentines. They actually had a formerly racist constitution. They actually modeled it after America's, unfortunately. But in the 1990s, there was a new wave of sort of a new hope, bringing in a new era of prosperity with the creation of the National Institute Against Discrimination, Xenophobia, and Racism. Um, this was amended also to the Constitution, taking away all formal discrimination. There was no longer any discrimination allowed in Argentina in the workplace, in public settings. This was very, very essential for Argentina to move forward. But it is sad that today racism still persists. There's many expressions that unfortunately dehumanize uh, Afro Argentines and indigenous Argentines, unfortunately. Argentina's government is also a very important aspect of Argentine life. They declared independence from Spain in 1816, and this was after the King Ferdinand of Spain went to Argentina to escape Napoleon in Europe, and this backfired essentially on the Spanish government, eventually creating Argentina, helping Latin America achieve independence on its own. They've had the same constitution since 1853, and it does mention having specifically a president, which is ironic given the right wing nature that has persisted in Argentina. In 1976, they had a U.S. backed coup, which resulted in a military dictatorship until 1983, after the Falklands War against Britain. Their current president is Alberto Fernandez, and he was just elected in December of 2019. One other really important aspect of current Argentine life is the country's reaction to COVID. So they just recently hit over 1 million cases, and they were actually, that's surprising, as they were extremely uh, efficient at jumping to locking down early. Um, this lasted for a few months, and starting in around June, July, the government started lifting the lockdown procedures just a tad, and people took it as a free for all. And this led to an increase in cases, and the government had to step in, unfortunately, increase lockdown measures, and now there's still a battle ongoing between uh, how much can the government limit, and many protests have uh, been taking place in Buenos Aires as well. In conclusion, Argentina has had a very serious problem with the legacy of colonialism, but I do believe that after some recent changes, the country is heading in a better direction, with some problems still persisting. Although I will say sweeping changes have been made, and many more are to come under this new government of Alberto Fernandez. He is definitely a voice of change and a voice for the future of all Argentines, and I do believe good will happen. Thank you.